Hey guys, Mitsu here, and this is AR Mock Battles, the 3rd edition. Today we're going to be doing a mock battle against Nighter. Now he's been bumped up the list a bit because his defense request is regarding this season. So it's a bit more urgent for him than for others. So there are the other one who wants a mock battle. His mock battle is for Anima. I didn't get to it yesterday, so I'm just going to do that later today or maybe tomorrow if I have time, because it's not so urgent, right? Anima comes around next week. Then there's another request by a user who is still leveling up their defense fort, so it's not really going to be very important to them to actually have the feedback there, because they're not going to be facing my kind of a balanced setup. So it's more of an interesting thing to note whether this works, because it's a very sort of mean setup. But it's not urgent, right? If their fort was leveled, it would be urgent, I think, and it would be a funny meme team, but, you know, we'll get into that when we're that far. So let's get to Nighter's team. First, let's have just a general look at it. It's a very competent team, honestly. I needed several tries in order to clear it, and the thing that I've come away with is this side may look like the right way to go if you have a Lyon. It's not. You think you can clear many units, and from there on out the field is a bit free. It's not. Ophelia comes in, Bram comes in, he's got sturdy impact, Lucina has sturdy impact, Yoon has double death blow, you've got Swift Sparrow 3 Ishtar. She doesn't initiate there, but you know, you're gonna get many units who are very, very powerful and who have sort of follow-up preventing skills on them. So very, very hard to take out. And Lyon can take this, Ike can take this. I'm not sure who could. Like maybe a much more merged up Lyon could take this side. I'm not sure. But it's not the side I'll take, because it's not the side I think is advisable to go by. Instead, here's the weakness. You can bait only Ophelia there, and only Ophelia will initiate on turn 1. From there on out, the units move towards the middle. And here is a wall that is part of the terrain. And here's the problem. If you're going to place Bram here, and Lucina, of course, one of the two is going to go, and it's going to be probably Bram, because I'm not sure on this, but I think units might move first relative to Future Vision. I'm not entirely sure why he goes, but he goes and destroys the terrain, because they can destroy the terrain, right? They can't destroy the defensive structures. And what happens then is, because he destroys the terrain, he's stuck here, whereas the others are sort of bunched up here. So Bram can't do anything on this side, he's blocked off, and he can't do anything here either because he's still here. He has to move back first. So he's completely neutered in turn 2. Then by turn 3, he moves back. And then, you know, then you can kind of, turn 3, you know, that's Bull Tower time. Bull Tower is pretty popular here, I would say. Either here or here, it doesn't matter. It would hit all or most units, and it will heavily damage them. So that turn 2 to 3 lull that Bram has here is quite crucial. And it's what I'm going to exploit in order to take him out. Now, the one clear liability on this team is Ishtar, who is minus attack, and that's just tough luck. I mean, if she was plus attack, she'd be much more of a threat. As a minus attack, she's not. She can take out Lyon still, right? She still does a lot because she can quad him, but she can't take out any other unit, basically, right? As long as it's not a green where she gets like bonus damage due to having a weapon triangle advantage, she's not going to have enough damage output. And that's going to be her problem, like especially when we're talking about a season where air is being run. You need to have more attack than 42 in order to handle the rest. You'll see that even my infantry sword unit of this season easily tanks her. Beyond that, you know, then you have that dancer gone, Berkut doesn't dance and move them further down. Like, things clog up. And then by the end, I can take out the healing tower, and they all maintain the damage of the Bull Tower, which comes turn 3. And from there on out, it's actually fairly easy to tank with a green with weapon triangles color advantage. So definitely Lyon can take it, but I also think a merged Robin could do the same job. And I do know that some people run merged Green Robin. It's still a bit of a niche setup, but it's something that you could find, sort of. So yeah, all of this is stuff to consider. I would definitely, I personally would change the following on Berkut. I wouldn't give him this. There's no point in it. Why is it there? I don't see the point. I would give him HP Def, right? And that way he has 2 defense more. I'm not sure about these two either, because I don't think many units are going to be initiating, and all these units here are very frail anyhow. It's not going to make a massive difference, right? I don't think this or this would prevent Ophelia being taken out, or Ishtar for that matter. So I don't know what these are doing, honestly. I would rather give him in the C slot infantry pulls. That way Lucina and Bram are being hit. And what happens then is that you can give Bram Luna as well, because then his Luna goes down to a 2 cooldown, so that it's exactly the same as Glimmer, and his damage output then becomes like even more extreme for the cases where you have a high res opponent. And yeah, I would recommend that, honestly. I mean, Luna does like 80% off of the opponent's res is away, isn't it? Or is it 50? Wait, let me just check. 50, sorry. 80 would have been extreme, right? 80 was Erica or something like that. Anyhow, but he does like a further 50% of res gone. It's a lot. It's a lot. Of course, he has a lot of attack. I think he gets like 74 or something like that attack when all is done. Yeah, 6, 5, 3, so 14, 6, 76. 76, there we go. So 76 attack on initiation. Yeah, he does a lot of damage. Glimmer does work. I personally prefer Luna. You can do either. I mean, Bram isn't the problem here, but you can definitely use an infantry pull setup here and then play around with your infantry units and see what you can do with them. Just something to consider. Then this slot, maybe a 4 def, honestly, because you already have a plus def Berkut. And with HP Def, he'll then be at 43 defense. And if you then give him a 4 Def, he'll be at 48 defense. And at that point, he will avoid the isolation of Mila. And it's not like, you're terribly vulnerable to isolation. But here's the thing that's useful for you. You can then ignore the possibility of 2 dancers. Well, maybe there's a double Mila team. I don't expect that, but you can ignore the possibility or the scenario where one of the 2 dancers, respectively, is being isolated. You only have to consider her being isolated because Berkut most of the time will not be isolated. There will be Milas who can isolate him, yes, but those are like the rare exceptions, and they're pure supports because then they have like 4 def res in the A slot or 4 def in the A slot, and their attack is very hardly neutered. And yeah, at that point, do you want to prepare for that scenario? It's a very rare one. It's something to consider, right? Since we now have Mila, maybe make use of him as one of the very few dancers who can avoid her isolation to actually avoid it. Okay, now let's get into my solution. I can't clear this with Bike. There we go. So let's go through the teams that I can't do this with. I can't do this with my Lute and Deirdre. I tried. It doesn't quite work. I could try again. Like, I think maybe with the same strategy I might be able to, but I fear that your units do too much damage to my mages versus Lyon. Lyon's damage reduction really helps him here. Oops, I did not want to do that. Let us go back. Where was he? There we go. So yeah, the mages don't really work. Gale Force doesn't work at all, unfortunately. I tried Tiki, who has Mirror Stance 3, Distant Depths. She gets a lot of res and, in general, like bulk from distance. Makes no difference. She gets completely taken out. So that just goes to show how dangerous this team is. Yeah. Again, Bike with Lucina doesn't take it. Ophelia does insane amounts of damage to him with her AoE special, and after that, the rest of the units can take him out. Not much I can do. Like, I would have to try if I could get to Ophelia with Bike and then immediately attack her. Like, maybe he can one-shot her, considering he's going to have 63 attack, and if he's buffed up by Lucina, he's going to have, like, even more attack, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But I can definitely clear with this team. And yeah, so let's just get into it. It's already a lot longer than I wanted it to be, the prelude. So we're just going to go through this pretty quickly, since I think I've discussed all that needs to be done. The important thing in this map to start with is to not forget to snipe the panic tower in a panic manner in turn 1. It becomes a problem for me later on if Lyon gets debuffed by the panic manner, considering he's basically never going to be at full HP. But if he's not being debuffed by the panic manner, this is actually pretty smooth. Even as an unmerged minus res Lyon, he really gets through this quite easily. So let's start. Again, first take out the panic manner, get her out of the way. We can destroy the building here with Young Marth. We can get rid of the Dark Shrine with Lyon. Did I want to? No, I did not want to do that. See, you have to be very careful with what buildings and who to dance or whatever. I wanted to break that with Young Marth. If I don't break that with Young Marth, I actually get into time constraint problems. So yeah, again.
You sure? I must be careful. Keep up. Maybe this way? This way.
And continue. Now here's what happens. Ophelia comes and attacks Lyon. She does nothing to him, right? I mean, it's pretty much a joke. And then you see Bram moves here to the side in order to destroy the structure, as I said. And now he can't do anything, right? He's being blocked by the tactics room. He can't move anywhere else. Like, he could move here, but I'm not going to bait there or there for that reason. Like, why would I bait somewhere where Berkut could move in? That would be stupid. So what I'll do instead is first get rid of the bull tower with Lyon, because that's pain at turn 3. Get him out of the way with Marth. Dance Marth, so that he gets some buffs. And yeah, at that point, I think we can stay... Pretty much we can stay here.
You sure?
Or move out. Makes no real difference. Let's move out, sure. And as you can see, Ishtar does very, very little to Marth. Yoon repos her out. Berkut out, sorry. And now my bull tower hits. And honestly, it's like just perfect placement. If it wasn't like quite this perfect, maybe it wouldn't solve quite as well, but it's perfectly placed, as coincidence will have it. At this point, I repo Lyon up. I get rid of the healing tower because that's really the most annoying thing, if you believe it or not. Let's do this in order to buff up Lyon, right? Because he's bonus doubler this season. Can anybody get here? No, so we can just get rid of that. And we are free. Come on, Lyon, do it. There goes Bram. Beautiful. There. Now, we saw that Berkut does only 6 damage, so there's nothing to worry about, right? We can just take out this, place him here, dance him, and, yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of getting her up, and that's my solution. So, yeah, things to consider. Berkut's skill set, not a problem with my solution, but maybe a problem with Mila's. I'm not sure to which extent he's crucial versus Ishtar. But definitely consider what you're going to do with the fortress here. I'm not sure if it's better to place it here. I'm not sure like if baiting from somewhere else is more damaging, but this is the liability of your map. This side is no worry, the middle is very hard to do anything, because you have just overlapping range of 3 units, different colors, and yeah, they do a lot of damage, each of them. And of course, like, Yoon follows up afterwards if she gets danced by Berkut, and that's something that you can avoid being prevented by then having Mila. So, like, that's something you can't really avoid. Yeah, And this is the real bull trap, just so you know. So yeah, baiting there, not really a great option. You would then have to repo out, but this is the real gravity trap, so you will waste a lot of turns, and by then you probably can't get the pots anywhere close. So that's the one thing. This is a weakness. The other thing is you're neutering Bram by doing this, by having your defensive structures in a way that he cannot move through here. If I go to my own setup, there's a reason, because I'm using the same map, right? There's a reason why this is open. I want it to be the case that if you kind of bait from this side, and let's say that Fina has no reason to dance on this side. She pretty much always does, but even let's assume that was the case. Roy comes here and breaks this, and now he can get danced by Fina and move to the back lines. And Roy moving through the back lines is scary, honestly, because he's got how much speed? He's going to get another, how much? 4 from you, I think? Yeah, so he's 46, then you add another 7, you add another 6, so he's at 59 speed. Though there definitely are units who can avoid the double at 59. It's a challenge, and yeah, that's a danger. So yeah, that's the thing I would consider in Nighter's setup, is to not block off the left-hand side, because you're going to manage to make it more difficult for me here. It's actually very hard to snipe a Bram. Bram. He's very, very tanky. Like, who could take him out here? Hinata, maybe, but then I'd have to somehow place him in order to get there, right? And as you saw, like, I was moving. Oh gosh. I had repoed out with Hinata, so he was here, and if Bram was there, then he would be at this spot, and he would have 1, 2, so he'd be attacking here and here. And then how do you get, like, you have to wait a turn, and then maybe try to, like, first hit with Hinata, then hit with air. Like, maybe it would work. I'm not entirely sure, it's possible. But in this setup, the way you have it now, depending if you want it like this or not, Bram is useless on turn 2, because he can't do anything over here. And yeah, that's just a liability you're going to have to keep in mind. I think that covers everything I wanted to discuss, right? Yeah, Ophelia's fine, Yuna's fine, Lucina's fine anyhow. Yeah, I hope the mock battle was useful, and good luck on the week, Nighter. I'll see you in the Discord. And everybody else who wants mock battle, do join the Discord. I will hopefully remember to add a link to the first comment, to the description. And yeah, I'll see you there. Until then, bye!